Okay, so I'm making this video for this problem about balancing equations. We went over it in class, but I know I did it briefly, kind of assuming that this is something that you've learned last year, but also knowing that not everyone's in the same boat with that. So let's get you up to speed. I think once you watch this video, it should be, hopefully, pretty straightforward. All right, so complete combustion of 3-ethylhexane. The first thing I want to do for myself, of course, is draw 3-ethylhexane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3-ethyl is on the third carbon. I have an ethyl group. Then I'm going to count my carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I use the general formula for alkanes to determine the formula for 3-ethylhexane. If for some reason you forgot this general formula, you could always count the number of hydrogen atoms, but hopefully you remember 2n plus 2, so I have 16 plus 2 is 18. All right, C8H18. But it's combustion, my other reactant is going to be oxygen. I'm going to leave space here that I'm going to use to add coefficients. Coefficients tell me the number of molecules that I have. Yield CO2 plus H2O. And these are the products for complete combustion of an alkane. All right, so how do I balance? My first step is I draw a line down the middle of my equation where the arrow is. So this is telling me that 3-ethylhexane plus oxygen yields CO2 and H2O. I'm going to start by counting the atoms that I have right now. Right now I have one molecule of C8H18, so that means I have 8 carbon atoms. I have 18 hydrogen atoms. I have 2 oxygen atoms. Do the same on the other side. I'm going to list these in the same order. I have 1 carbon atom in my products. I have 2 hydrogen atoms and 3 oxygen atoms. All right. So my goal is to get the same number of atoms of each element in my reactants, the things that I start with, and my products, the things that I finish with in my reaction. Okay, whenever you balance, you never start with hydrogen nor oxygen. So in this case, I need to start with carbon. It's the only other element I have. So I have 8 carbon. I'm going to put in 8 as my coefficient for CO2 so that my carbons become balanced. Awesome. I'm now going to try balancing my hydrogens. I see I have 18 in my reactants. So in order to get 18 hydrogens in my products, I'm going to put a 9 there. If I have 9 water molecules, that gives me 18 hydrogen atoms. If you're feeling unsure about that, we'll picture having 9 water molecules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 9 water molecules, and then I see there's 18 hydrogen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. We can count 18 hydrogen atoms there. All right. As soon as I add coefficients, I should also update the counts that I have here. So of course, these 2 coefficients affected my oxygen. So there's now 16 oxygen atoms in 8 carbon dioxides, 9 oxygen atoms in 9 water molecules. 16 plus 9, I now have 25 oxygen atoms. All right, doing well. So I see now, if I want to balance the oxygens, well, in my reactants, the only atom that has oxygen is this oxygen. So how would I balance? Well, I see, I could put 12.5, I could put a half, but we always balance with whole numbers, so that's not looking great to me. When I'm in this situation where the only thing that could fix my balancing is having a half, I'm actually going to double all of the coefficients I already have. So I had a 1 there, I'm going to change it to a 2. I have an 8, I'm going to change it to a 16. I have a 9, I'm going to change it to 18. All right, cool. Let me check my counts. So carbons on the left, I have 16 carbon atoms. I have 36 hydrogen atoms. 2 times 18 is 36. On the right, I have 16 carbon atoms and 16 CO2. I have 18 times 2 is 36 hydrogen atoms. And I now have 16 times 2, 32 oxygens here. I have 18 oxygens, and water, 32 plus 18, it turns out is 50 oxygens. Well, how do I get 50 oxygens on the right? 25. So again, I needed to double because I did not want my coefficient to be an odd number, or excuse me, a decimal. I wanted it to be an integer. And so that final step of doubling only comes up in certain examples. All right, I hope that helps. Let me know what questions you have. Thanks for watching.